Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Josh Elsarbuk. I'm an undergrad student studying physics at the University of Colorado at Denver. Initial development on the awkward target for Kaitai has been made possible by the invaluable help of Dr. Amy Roberts, also at UC Denver, Jim Pavarsky, awkward developer, and Greycat, WebNH, and Kolonik over at Kaitai's GitHub. One of the many issues currently facing the physics community is the highly variable nature of experimental data formats. As researchers, our main task is to collect and analyze data, which means we need to be able to interact with that data. However, different experiments require different specialized hardware, meaning that custom data acquisition software must also be written and maintained to interface with that hardware and record any data to disk. Now consider what happens to this data once it's saved to a file. Every computer file is at its core a string of binary which must then be interpreted and translated into something readable by either a human or a program designed for those files. And because binary formats for scientific data are often unique to a particular experiment, researchers are typically responsible for developing, documenting, and maintaining analysis software to interact with that data. As such, analysis software is often tightly coupled to a particular binary data format, meaning that a great analysis tool that is available might be completely useless to you if your data is in the wrong format. For example, if you're particularly fond of Sublime Text Editor but try to open a video file with it, Sublime would simply display a long non-human readable hex dump, as well as take a considerable amount of time to open larger files like scientific data tends to be. Simplifying the process of integrating a unique data format into analysis code is therefore of immense value. One potential solution to this is Kaitai Struct, a declarative language which takes YAML-like descriptions of a data format structure and generates code in your language of choice for interacting with data in that format. The key benefit of Kaitai-generated code is that it can be included as a library in any external code. For example, imagine a simple binary data structure which describes an animal's species, age, and weight, and imagine you want to analyze some animal data in Python. This data structure can be described in Kaitai Struct YAML, or KSY. This KSY file can then be passed to the Kaitai Struct Compiler, generating a Python script that can be imported into any other Python code. But when dealing with large files and complicated data structures with nested arrays, even the most efficient Python code can be quite time and resource heavy. For something similar to our example animal data, but 10 million times the size, which is perfectly reasonable for scientific data, standard Python lists and dicts can perform a slice and print in about 2 minutes using about 20 gigabytes of memory. However, awkward arrays offer a powerfully dynamic and efficient approach to representing data in NumPy-like arrays. Written in C++ and including Python bindings, awkward arrays store data in jagged nested arrays of arbitrary types and are able to perform the same slice and print in under 5 seconds using just over 2 gigabytes of memory. This makes awkward an appealing target for Kaitai Struct, but it has not yet been implemented. One can, however, be developed by taking advantage of existing Kaitai Stream C++ API. While a C++ target for Kaitai currently exists, adapting it to allow for awkward requires changing core Kaitai code. Instead, the GraphViz implementation was identified as the ideal template for introducing awkward to the Kaitai ecosystem. Reference C++ source and header files have been handwritten, serving as a model of Kaitai-generated code to help guide development. Currently, the awkward implementation compiles, but the output generated by Kaitai is non-functional. Future development for awkward Kaitai will primarily focus on improving the current implementation to generate functional code, as well as introducing Python bindings for generated awkward C++ code. If you're interested in contributing to development, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email or GitHub, submit a Git issue, and check out our OSF Project page. Countless thanks again to Dr. Roberts, Jim Pavarsky, and to everyone here for joining me today.